Do I charge this many or this many? Hey everybody, it's Garrick again from No One's Designs, and today we're going to do something a little different. We're going to talk about one of the sticky wickets in prop and costuming, and that's pricing. How to price your prop, costume, commission piece, anything like that. And right at the front here, I'm going to put out this big disclaimer. This is how I think it should work, and this is how I work my pricing scheme. That is by no means a indictment of how other people price or run their businesses. That's one of the nice things about having a free market enterprise, is that people can choose how to price themselves and their products. But I have done a lot of work and thought a lot about how to make money selling my skill sets, whether that being doing individual commissions or custom pieces that I make for myself and then sell for others later, or just things that I think are popular or cool and I could do a run of. So I have actually built a spreadsheet that I'm going to show everybody here. But before we get to that, I think we need to kind of talk about at least my ethos when it comes to pricing basically yourself and your work. Most everything you do consists of two things: materials and time. Doesn't matter what kind of job you're doing, anything. You could be baking a cake, you could be building a bridge, you could be making a set of space armor. Materials is really easy to figure out. As long as you keep your receipts, you kind of know what you're spending. It's that time part that a lot of people have problems with. And I think one of the things that I see the most and is really disheartening is people undervaluing their time. Prop and costume making, especially at the level where you can sell it to someone else, is a high-skilled job. There's this kind of romanticized vision of the starving artist in America, and I think that distracts from the fact that most creative fields, I say most, all creative fields, they are skilled labor. And generally when you talk about skilled labor, people think welders or plumbers or HVAC technicians, people that spend a lot of time to learn a trade and go and do it. Art is skilled labor. And I think if you go into it with that mindset, it becomes much easier to price appropriately. The other thing is that we work in a free market. So you can kind of ask for whatever you want or whatever the market will support. And a lot of people don't understand that on some jobs that you do, you may get a smaller profit margin, but that might be offset by the fact that, oh, it's easy, or it's for a friend, or there's some other intrinsic value on it. You're going to get, credited in a fan film. There are other benefits besides just the payment. And then there are other times where you will be asking for more than just an hourly wage because it's a particularly difficult task. You just don't like it very much. I mean, there's a myriad of reasons for charging more, and both of those are okay. The other caveat I want to say too is that you have to realize there's a difference between a gift and a business transaction. And a lot of times people are making stuff for people that they know, and if it's a gift, it's fine to do it for next to nothing. But understand that it's a gift, and even if the other person is paying for materials, that's still a gift because you're giving them your time. And not just the time to build it, you are letting them have access to all the time that you spent mastering those techniques, all the painful hours of trial and error, all of the horrible nightmares of sanding. Anyways, I've rambled long enough. Let me show you how Derek and Jackie, my wife too, how we price ourselves, and how, if you want to, you can price your work too. All right, so this is what the spreadsheet looks like. The first thing you're going to want to do when you open it up is come over here to View and turn off Protected Ranges. That's going to take that gray striping out of here. Now, my base price is $20 an hour. I know that seems like a lot of money to some people, but I have kind of a little explanation over here for people that don't necessarily watch this video before they read this thing. And $20 an hour is $41,600 a year. The average U.S. household income in 2012 was $51,371. So you're a little less than 10 grand under the United States average at $20 an hour. And like I said, this is a skilled labor job. So if we look at another skilled labor job, a plumber, their median salary was $49,140 in 2012. So $20 an hour for a skilled job is actually low. That's a low ball. So this is kind of my little spiel about not undervaluing your time. Don't trap yourself by any rate either. There are props that I sell above this baseline price. That's just kind of the nature of business. If the market can support it, or again, if it's a particularly difficult prop, something that I don't like doing, something that takes a lot of time in a way that is not fun, I will charge more than just this base rate. But let's get down to brass tacks here. When we come over here, this is where we input all of our data. And we're going to start off with just figuring out what it would cost to create a one-off piece. Now you're going to need to put in your initial materials. I only put in materials that I have to buy, not anything that I have laying around. But I put in the full value of purchasing that. So if I only need 20 screws and there's a box of 50, it's the whole cost of the box of 50. That way, on my next job, and I need another 20 screws, I can just use those and it doesn't add to my material cost for that job. That way I don't have to try to allocate prices for all the little bits and bobs that's in my shop. So there's that. So let's say that it's $30 in materials. Initial hours. This can really vary dramatically. Let's say if we're doing a small hand prop of some kind, we'll put in 15 hours. Now ignore everything except for price for the original. That is what you would need to charge at those hourly rates to produce a one-off piece. I have built into here my baseline price. I have a sale price. I have a friends and family price. And for reference, I have the United States federal minimum wage. So you can just kind of see how sad that is. Note on the friends and family price, that's for if they actually want to pay me for something. Again, it's okay to do gifts, as long as everybody realizes that it is a gift. So now that we have what our original is going to cost, let's plug in everything else. Let's assume that you only need one trial size kit of smooth-on silicone. Those are $25-ish with tax. We're doing $28. This is all assumed numbers, kind of stuff coming up off the top of my head as an example. You'll need to keep detailed records of both the hours that you've logged, keep receipts of what you've spent. You will get the most value out of the spreadsheet if you do that. So $28 in molding, let's say it takes me 2 hours, maybe 3 hours, not 23, 3 hours between claying and molding and demolding, all of that. Let's say for the resin is my caveat to the pay for everything up front, because I can easily figure out how much an ounce of resin costs. So let's say the casting materials for this is, I don't know, $5. $5 for this small hand prop. And it takes an hour to cast it, between demolding, and cleanup and everything. Now we can look at the rest of these things. The second number is going to be your cost for creating the original, plus your cost of molding it, plus the cost of creating a copy split across 5 sales. So once you've made 5 sales at $108.60, you will have paid yourself back the $330 for the original, and you will have made the minimum kit price of $25 on top of that. Now, this minimum kit price down here, that is what you would need to charge just to get your hourly and to get your material cost back. You rarely ever sell anything at your minimum kit price. That is just produced so that you can work it into splitting it across these sales. Generally, what you do is after you've recouped your original, you will keep it at whatever that price is, if the market will support it. Having this minimum kit price allows you to adjust the cost if demand drops, or if you want to do a special. It allows you to do all of the things that working within a margin that all the big companies do. And that's business. This is a business. So that's the form. Feel free to use it. Feel free to hate on it. If you want to make changes to any of the formulas, you can't. On the Google Docs version, I have that all locked, but you should be able to go to File and Download As and grab it as an Excel sheet or an open document sheet. The PDF is not interactive, so don't do that. And you should be able to tinker around with any of the formulas if you so choose. So yeah, fun times. So that's that. Pretty simple. I'll have the link to the Google Doc down in the video's description, so you guys can go and use that. If you've got any questions or comments, please leave them below. And again, I just want to emphasize, this is not meant as a you're doing it wrong, I'm doing it right. This is just a outreach and a heartfelt suggestion. I think that a lot of people out there could benefit from this, and I figured I did all this work, I might as well share it with everyone. Yeah, tell me what you think. If you like this kind of stuff, subscribe. I do tutorial videos, I do product reviews. We've got a couple of different things in the pipeline that'll all be showing up on this channel. So please subscribe. If you want to just see some of Jackie, my wife's, or my work, you can follow us on Facebook.com. You can follow us on Twitter. Oh yeah, the Facebook thing. That would be Facebook.com/NoOne'sDesigns. And Twitter would be @NoOne'sDesigns. And then, if all else fails, you can just go to our website, NoOne'sDesigns.com. Thanks again, and have a good one.